Right now, there's a wave of buzz spreading across Major League Baseball after a series of roster moves involving the Boston Red Sox were officially announced, and fans everywhere are reacting to the names that have now been revealed. As the 2026 MLB season approaches and spring training continues to shape team rosters, the Red Sox front office has clearly decided that this is the moment to make aggressive decisions. Multiple players have now been sent out of the organization through trades and roster adjustments, and the moves are sending a strong message about the direction Boston wants to take heading into this season. While the Red Sox have been busy evaluating their lineup, pitching depth, and long-term strategy, these newly revealed names show that the team is actively reshaping its roster rather than standing still in a very competitive American League landscape. One of the most talked about developments involves a multiplayer trade that saw Boston move several players in a single deal as part of a larger roster shuffle. In this transaction, the Red Sox sent left-handed pitcher Shane Drowan and additional assets away while bringing in new infield depth that the team believes can strengthen their roster heading into the 2026 campaign. Deals like this may not always grab the same headlines as superstar trades, but inside a front office they are often viewed as extremely important moves because they help balance the roster and improve organizational depth. Boston's leadership has made it clear in recent months that they want more flexibility across the field, particularly in the infield, and these moves appear to be part of that strategy. Another name that surfaced in recent reports involves a pitching change that caught many fans by surprise. The Red Sox moved hard-throwing reliever Jordan Hicks in a trade that sent the veteran arm out of Boston while bringing back young pitching talent that could develop within the organization. Moves like this often signal that a team is thinking about both the present and the future at the same time. Hicks brought experience and velocity to the bullpen, but Boston's decision suggests that the front office believes the incoming young arm could eventually provide greater long-term value. For a team that has been trying to rebuild consistency in its pitching staff, these kinds of calculated decisions are becoming increasingly common. What makes this entire situation even more interesting is the context surrounding these roster moves. The Red Sox are currently navigating one of the most competitive divisions in baseball. The American League East continues to be stacked with strong teams, and Boston knows that standing still could quickly lead to falling behind rivals who are constantly upgrading their own rosters. Because of that reality, the Red Sox front office has been extremely active behind the scenes, evaluating players across the organization and identifying which pieces truly fit their long-term vision for the team. Another factor influencing these decisions is the emergence of younger talent within the Red Sox system. Over the past year, several prospects have been pushing closer to the major leagues, creating both excitement and pressure within the organization. When young players begin knocking on the door of the big leagues, teams often face tough choices about veterans or depth pieces already on the roster. Sometimes the smartest move is to trade certain players while their value is still strong, especially if it helps clear a path for developing talent that could become part of the franchise's future core. At the same time, Boston's lineup continues to evolve as the team experiments with different combinations during spring training. Coaches and analysts are closely watching how players perform in game situations, which can quickly change the outlook for certain roster spots. A strong performance from a young player can suddenly make another player expendable, while an injury or slump can create an unexpected need somewhere else on the roster. That constant evaluation is one of the reasons we're seeing so much movement around the Red Sox organization right now. There is also growing speculation that these recently revealed names may only represent the beginning of Boston's roster changes. Around baseball, insiders believe the Red Sox could still be exploring additional trades as they finalize the team that will open the 2026 season. The front office appears determined to maintain flexibility, meaning that if the right opportunity appears on the trade market, Boston could make another move quickly. Teams across the league are also paying attention to how the Red Sox manage their roster, especially because Boston has several players who could attract interest from other clubs looking to upgrade. For Red Sox fans, these announcements create a mix of emotions. On one hand, it's never easy to see familiar players leave the organization, especially when those players contributed to the team's recent seasons. On the other hand, roster changes are often necessary for teams trying to build a stronger contender. Baseball history is full of examples where difficult decisions ultimately helped a team reshape itself into a championship contender, and the Red Sox appear to be hoping that these moves will help move the franchise closer to that goal. Another important aspect of these transactions is the financial flexibility they can create. Managing payroll is always a major part of a front office's strategy, and sometimes moving certain contracts allows a team to pursue other opportunities later in the season. Whether that means signing free agents, extending current players, or making additional trades near the deadline, financial flexibility can play a major role in how competitive a team remains over the course of a long MLB season. As the 2026 season gets closer, Boston's coaching staff will now focus on integrating the new players arriving through these trades while also finalizing the roster that will head into opening day. The players who remain in the organization understand that competition for spots will be intense, and every performance during the remaining weeks of spring training could influence the final decisions. That sense of urgency often brings out the best in players who are fighting to secure their role on the team. For the Red Sox front office, the ultimate goal is clear. They want to build a roster capable of competing not just for a playoff spot, but for a deep postseason run. Achieving that goal requires constant evaluation and sometimes bold decisions that may surprise fans in the moment. By sending multiple players out and bringing new talent into the organization, Boston is signaling that it is fully committed to reshaping the team and finding the right formula for success in 2026 and beyond. And the reality is that the story might not be finished yet. In Major League Baseball, roster movement can accelerate quickly, especially as teams approach opening day and begin identifying their final needs. What started with a few announcements about players leaving the Red Sox could soon turn into a larger sequence of moves that further redefine the roster. So now the big question for Red Sox Nation is simple: are these moves the beginning of a bigger transformation for Boston, or just strategic adjustments before the season begins? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the Red Sox front office is actively shaping the future of the franchise right now. If you enjoyed this update and want to stay on top of every Red Sox announcement, breaking trade rumor, and roster move throughout the 2026 MLB season, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. This channel covers everything happening in Boston, from trade news and roster changes to prospect updates and in-depth game analysis. And now I want to hear from you. What do you think about the Red Sox sending multiple players out in these latest moves? And do you believe these decisions will make the team stronger this season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, join the conversation with Red Sox Nation, and stay tuned for the next big update.